Okay, I just want to go over violating the oath. I was watching some video on YouTube. Judge in Texas let a few people go on no probable cause. I talked to you about that. Probable cause hearings should be first and utmost when a case starts, in criminal court. So it turns out the judge threw the cases out, no probable cause, because there was no reason for arrest. State's attorney still tried to prosecute the case, so the judge didn't lambaste them for violating the oath. The state's attorney violated the oath, the cop violated the oath of office. Okay, let's go over that. Police officers who violate the oath of office can face criminal charges, civil lawsuits, fines, imprisonment, and removal from office. Criminal charges. A police officer who violates their oath of office can face criminal charges. For example, a former police officer was found guilty of violating arrestee civil rights using excessive force. Okay, police officers who violate their oath of office can face civil lawsuits. Sworn law enforcement officers take an oath to support the Constitution, their state, and the laws of their agency's jurisdiction. The penalty for this felony ranges from 1 to 5 years in prison. This is stated clearly in cases like Demaro versus the state and Barnes versus the state, where officers were held accountable for their actions that breached their official oaths. Okay, there's a lot of things you can look up on here. Breaking down the law, violations of the oath of office, and felony charges. People ask what happens if a cop breaks their oath. Let's see what it says. Officers who betray their oath often face legal consequences, including criminal charges and civil lawsuits. This not only affects the individual officer, but reflects poorly on the agency and the profession as a whole. What is the punishment for breaking the oath? Generally, there are no actual punishments attached for breaking a professional oath itself, because nobody ever pursues charges. Public servants are always, it's that would be breaking the oath of silence there. The Fourth Federal Law, 18th U.S.C. 1918, provides penalties for violating the oath of office described in U.S.C. 7311, which includes removal from office and confinement or fine, remedial and enforceable measures. Do police officers take an oath to the Constitution? Sworn law enforcement officers are those who have taken an oath to support the Constitution of the United States, their state, and the laws of their agency's jurisdiction. Sworn officers have the responsibility to ensure the safety and quality of life and communities they serve. What happens if they break the oath? Is breaking the oath treason? Under the laws of the state, it may be considered treason or high crime to betray the sworn oath of office. In many cases, the oath is performed using an oath book, typically religious scripture such as the Bible. The word oath and phrase "I swear" refer to solemn vow. What happens if you go against the oath? In its severe offenses that can result in criminal charges, is convicted, the consequences that may include fines, probation, or even imprisonment, depending on the jurisdiction and severity of the crime. Perjury irreparably damages an individual's credibility. That's why they made it legal for cops to lie. They do it all the time. I've been involved in many cases where the cops were supposed to testify, but when I brought up the police report, and had these other individuals want to bring out the police report, all of a sudden they didn't want the cop to testify to what was on the police report. And one time in particular I found utterly amazing, where they had the cop testify to the police report, not testify. He gave his testimony, which was contradictory of that, what was in the police report. So the judge called for a sidebar. They came back out 10-15 minutes later, apologized to the jury for wasting their time without citing the officer for filing a false police report, violating the oath of office, etc., etc. So no judge is going to cite, a cop for violating the oath of office. State's attorney, when the state's attorney was going off after this individual at the site, the judge said they had no probable cause. That's malicious prosecution. That's a Brady violation. Okay, look up Rule 3.8 in the Rules of Professional Conduct. Read that, and you'll find that's special rules of the prosecutor, and that's first and utmost what they're supposed to uphold in the Rules of Professional Conduct, which describes effective assistance to counsel, which is guaranteed to you in the Sixth Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. Effective assistance to counsel is not just a standard set for your attorney, but every attorney that appears in a court of law and even judges. The Rules of Professional Conduct and the Code of Judicial Conduct are the legal obligations of all lawyers and judges in every courtroom across the United States of America. It's universal. It's the common denominator in every court. The only difference is Rule 3.8, Special Rules of the Prosecutor, is a rule for criminal cases. That's the only extra rule for criminal cases. Outside of that, all the rules apply to every attorney, which they will deny. I've watched them, listened to them, deny it time and time again. Oh, no, the rules of professional conduct are only for criminal cases. It's nuts. Look up the rules of professional conduct and, learn how to own and operate your lawyer. If you have to go to school, take driver's ed to learn how to drive a car, so, you don't cause any harm to yourself or others. So you should at least take the time to learn how to own and operate your attorney. Okay, so look up the rules of professional conduct, whatever state you're in. It'll just pop up for your state. If you want another state, Google the rules of professional conduct for that other state. If it's Florida and you're in Illinois, just Google Florida rules of professional conduct. And don't forget Florida rules of professional conduct complaint form. Okay? You'll find that rather easy. And if you go to the office itself and try to file a complaint form, they'll often suggest you do something else first. You do all this other stuff first, and we'll see if it flies there first. No, just file your report. They have to take your complaint. Okay, and when you file your complaint with your state for your attorney violating the rules or the judge violating the codes, when you look up the Code of Judicial Conduct, those are legal obligations of all lawyers and judges, and they are to be enforced. Remember, reporting misconduct is mandatory in both the Rules of Professional Conduct and the Code of Judicial Conduct. Failure to report misconduct in any circumstance is misconduct. Okay? How serious is the oath? An oath is a solemn promise, sometimes made in front of a witness or a vow in court of law that you will tell the absolute truth no matter what the circumstances are. Swearing an oath is serious business. That's why it's odd that the oath can also be an angry outburst of obscene words. What happens if you say no to the oath? So if they refuse to swear to tell the truth, they are not in compliance with the subpoena. If you are not in compliance with a subpoena, you may be held with contempt of court in the case of January 6 hearings of Congress, and if you are held in contempt, potential consequences include some jail time. Okay, there's a lot of questions that you might have or you might not even have thought of that are here that give you the answers. What is a Hippocratic oath for the police? Policing's Hippocratic oath for police and law enforcement reads, "We insert the department's name, promise that while doing our best to control crime, we will do everything in our power to do no harm to the communities we serve and protect." Let me repeat that. We, like let's say CPD, Chicago Police Department, we the Chicago Police Department promise while doing our best to control crime, we will do everything in our power to do no harm to the communities we serve and protect. I'm going to leave it at that, okay? I'm going to leave it at that. Okay, every public servant takes the oath to the Constitution. A violation of that oath is a violation of your constitutional rights. Remember, that oath is a law. And there are penalties for violating oath: fines, removal from public service, and incarceration. Promise that while doing our best to control crime, we will do everything in our power to do no harm to the communities we serve and protect. To the communities we serve and protect. All right, people, granted, I read about this stuff years ago, but it's on the internet now. I'm doing my best to give you an advantage to where getting this information, I had great disadvantages. The only place you could find this is in a law library, and that's not everywhere. That's not everywhere. And the people I had to endure to get this information was difficult. Dealing with anybody in the legal community is difficult. They have a tendency to try to make themselves feel superior, do their best to make you feel inferior, speak in a language, use terms you can't quite comprehend because why? You didn't go to law school. And that's what you need. That's the only way you'll ever get a fair trial, because once you read the rules of professional conduct, you'll find all those laws are broken on a daily basis in every court. In every court, doesn't matter. Remember, the rules of professional conduct, the code of judicial conduct, are universal in every court. They are the common denominator. That's where the process starts. If that doesn't happen from the very beginning, whatever you're going through or whatever you went through is null and void. Okay? Oh, yeah, remember, there's a lot of people sitting in lockup, a lot of people in prison, minus a quick and speedy trial. That's your constitutional right. Look up quick and speedy trial. I don't think the limits, depending on what state, could be from 90 to 120 days. If you aren't given that quick and speedy trial, you've been denied your constitutional right, and you could get out of jail free. Okay? I'm just doing my best to make the rule of law mean something. To make the Constitution mean something. All right, all my life, I read the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, when I was 10 years old. And knowing that wasn't happening at 10 years old was quite disappointing. Realizing that your future consists of nothing but shattered dreams because of all those broken promises. Those are my constitutional rights, the Bill of Rights. As a United States citizen, those are my birthrights. Those are your birthrights. When I took the Pledge of Allegiance, I pledge allegiance to we the people, the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, the rule of law, the letter of the law, the spirit of the law. When it comes to the law, the Constitution, this is the content of my character. And when it comes to we the people, they are the content of my heart. The many, many pieces of my heart. Okay, people. Got nothing but love for you. I hope you're listening. I'm just showing you a whole lot of laws that that nobody's enforcing, nobody's talking about. You'd actually have to be a lawyer, I guess. I don't know. I never went to law school. I just read a lot. My only goal here is, for me, my life is nearly over. I'm old. There's nothing they can do to repair what happened to me. But together, you use the same laws I'm using. My voice, your voice, our voice, the voice of we the people will be heard. The history of the rule of law, the Magna Carta clearly states all laws applied equally to everyone. No one is above the law. The rule of law quashed qualified immunity. They didn't start using qualified immunity until the civil rights movement. And how is that in the public interest? Look up the public interest. Every public servant, civil servant, is required to do what's in the public interest because they are maintaining the public trust. Research the public trust doctrine and you will find that the legal system, lawyers, judges, politicians, they're all part of the public trust. And we the people are the trust fund babies of that public trust. Remember that, people. My people, we the people. Every public servant is legally required to do what's in public interest to maintain the public trust. Talk to you again soon. Thank you and good day.